A once.
Hi everybody, Chris Justice here alongside Perel Lewis. We're watching live Super Doppler 4HD very closely. An active tornado watch has been issued for the southern half of our viewing area right here, from Lawrence to Union to Greenwood, Abbeville, Elbert counties, and this goes until 7 o'clock tonight for the potential of some tornadic activity. Right now we have heavy rain across the area. The most concerning cells are over Elbert County and then back toward the west in the Athens, Georgia area. This cell has shown some signs of rotation. In fact, just about 30 minutes ago, these were active tornado warnings. You see this cell right here and this one right here, 2 counties over, were active tornado warnings. Right now, the strong wind is the concern. The rotation has weakened some, but as it's moving toward these areas of Elbert County, Abbeville County, Greenwood County, we want to keep you on alert over the next couple of hours as the potential is there for some of these to begin to rotate again. I'm starting to see some more rotation here across Elbert County. I would not at all be surprised to see this become a severe thunderstorm warning or potentially a tornado warning. There is no active tornado warning yet here across Elbert County, but we'll be watching it closely on live Super Doppler 4HD. And there's basically 2 areas here. You got another one back toward the west, just south of Danielsville. This too is showing some signs of strong rotation. So both of these cells will need to be watched closely for you folks in Elbert County and Abbeville County. Let me pull back out just a bit and show you where we're talking about. A steady rain here. Not to say we can't get severe weather in Oconee County, Pickens County, Northern Greenville, or Spartanburg counties. However, the greatest risk is going to be down here toward the south, where the less steady rain is located right now. So that's going to be the focus over the next couple of hours. And I plotted the active tornado watch, and watch basically means conditions are favorable for that severe weather or tornadic activity. And that does include you folks in Union, Lawrence, Greenwood, Abbeville, and Elbert counties, okay? So this is basically us putting you on alert that, hey, severe weather is possible and an active tornado is possible with this activity. And I know as we get closer to this activity back toward the south, and just like that, we do have an active tornado warning. So we're going to continue here with this in northeast Georgia for Elbert County and Abbeville County. We saw that rotation ramping up. We wanted to get on the air and let you know that there was a danger for our area. And sure enough, an active tornado warning exists here for Elbert County and Abbeville County. So you need to go ahead and get to your safe place there across Abbeville County, Lounsville included in this, Elberton included in this, and this warning does go until 2:15. Right now, we're concerned about West Elberton moving east at about 25 miles per hour. So the active cell that could possibly be a tornado is located 5 miles west of downtown Elberton right now. So if you're hearing the sound of our voice, we're going to continue on with this broadcast here in Elberton. You need to go ahead and seek shelter right now. Get to your safe place. We're going to be watching this cell as it continues to move on through in these areas here. So Lounsville, Elberton, go ahead and get to your safe place. Athens, Georgia, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning. Those are what we'll be watching for as they continue to push on off. So looking at the active rotation right here, it's a strong couplet. I've also got another one back here toward the west, which would be more of a threat for southern Abbeville and southern Greenwood counties. We're going to watch those closely as well. And we're going to stay on the air here with you through this warning here. I'm going to reset some of my graphics as we speak, as the folks in the newsroom get this information out to you folks, as this active threat is ramping up. An active tornado warning continues here for Elbert and Abbeville counties. Watching this very closely here, and that center of circulation does exist about 5 miles west of Elberton right here. So that's the big concern as we speak right now, and we're going to watch this closely as it crosses into South Carolina right over the lake right there. So this tornado warning for Elbert and Abbeville County goes until 2:15. There's the rotation, the strongest part of it. So I want to zoom right in here and show you where we're talking about right here across Elberton. You need to be seeking shelter. Get to the innermost part of your home. If you have a basement, a staircase, those are really good places to be, away from doors and windows. Nickville right now, just north of Dove Creek, just south of Goss, and heading right toward Elberton. Please get to your safe place right now, friends, there in northeast Georgia, Elbert County. This is the active rotation, strongest right here across Nickville, and where we're watching that active possible rotation right here as it moves off toward the east right here at about 25 miles per hour. So using Storm Tracker, one of our greatest tools to be able to track this active severe weather for you, there's that active rotation, and as it moves toward the east at about 25 miles per hour, that would put it at Elbert County Health Center and then Elberton by about 1 147. So as we speak, it's getting closer and closer. There's that couplet. A new radar scan from Live Super Doppler 4 HD just came in, indicating that rotation is still there. It's still very strong, and that's what we're watching closely. And for you folks there in parts of Abbeville County, this is heading your way. And we've got another southern end of this storm right there. It's the southern line of this. It's kind of exposed to some warmer, more unstable air. You can get more rotation in those areas. So not to say we can't get severe weather north of there for you folks in Greenville, Abbeville, parts of Anderson and Spartanburg, but it's the southern end of this line that we're watching very, very closely, and more importantly, right in there. That's where we've had a hook. You can see it almost right there. I want to pull up some of our tools that we have here, including the debris, so we can see if there's any debris being lofted into this. County. So we've got the Elbert County Health Center. You need to be seeking shelter right now. That cell is almost on top of you. Downtown Elberton, a little bit earlier than previously thought. It's moving a little bit faster there, so you need to go ahead and get to your safe place. Call your family and friends. Let them know what's going on. Silk Mills at 149, and then Lounsville, that's Abbeville County now, at 202. So it's crossing the state line into South Carolina from Georgia between about 1:50 and about 2 o'clock. So two cells here that concern me. Both have active rotation, and this one's starting to get stronger. Wouldn't all be surprised if that ends up being a tornado warning as well. And it's right there on the line from the two National Weather Service offices. So, our National Weather Service office in Greer and the Atlanta Peachtree, they're probably communicating right now with what to do with this cell, because that is a strong one and looks to be a dangerous cell as well. So pulling out just a bit, you got the radar, which indicates the two cells that we're watching. Heavy rain across Spartanburg, Gaffney, Union, Lawrence, watching for you folks in Greenwood. As these cells continue to move eastbound, they will move into Abbeville County and Greenwood County, possibly Lawrence County as well. So that is where we find the active tornado watch. As I plot that on top, you see here Union County, Lawrence County, Greenwood County, Abbeville County, Elbert County included in the active tornado watch. Now remember, a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadic activity. A tornado warning means that that threat is imminent and happening right now, and that's what we have across Elbert and Abbeville County. You see the two hooks right here. There's Lounsville. That's where it's heading. It's going to cross over the lake into Abbeville County. You need to be seeking shelter right now in western Abbeville County. If you have family or friends that could be in that location, go ahead and let them know. And pull over a little bit here. There's Due West. There's Abbeville. There's Calhoun Falls. All in the path of this storm right here. You need to be seeking shelter. I'm going to give you two storm tracks here. One in closer and one that's going to give us kind of a look at where it's going to go in the longer term. So here's the short term where it's going in the communities of Dove Creek, the Dove Creek Church, Elbert County Health Center, and then downtown Alberton within the next 5 to 10 minutes. All right, that's a closer look at where it's going to go. Should this cell continue on its same path and cross into Abbeville County, it's going to be in Elberton, Silk Mills, Beverly, and then Latimer there at about 2:15. So that's the cell there, and here's another severe thunderstorm warning. The strong winds associated with that is going to go into southern Elbert County. So watching that for Danielsville, Match, Goss, and then Bell. That'll be going into southern Elbert County, and that too includes some strong winds and some strong rotation right there. The red would indicate winds going away from our Doppler radar off of I-85. Green would indicate winds going toward our radar, and same story right here. You got that tight rotation across Elbert County and the potential that this is an active tornado on the ground near Elberton, about 5 miles west of there, heading east at about 25 miles per hour. So that would put it there in parts of Abbeville County shortly. So let's put a new storm track on it right there where the winds are the strongest as it pushes off toward the east into Lounsville, parts of Elbert County. So you got the Elberton and Elbert County Pat's Field right there, big baseball complex. Lounsville at 208. Silk Mills 150, and then Elberton at about 148. And this cell right here looks to be quite concerning as well. Let's put a storm track on that. Some very strong wind, and that is an active severe thunderstorm warning. The new one just issued by the National Weather Service right there that goes until 2:15. Watching that with a possible tornadic activity as well. So pulling out just a bit, hail is a concern as well with that activity. Let's look at the hail. That's a really strong signature for hail right in there. And right in there would be where we see the potential for hail. And there's those tracks with the two storms. You can see where that's going. Let's pull up our velocity, which basically isolates everything except for the twisting and turning of the winds in our atmosphere right there as we look closer at that as it continues to move on through our area, as that is the concern as it moves on through parts of Elbert County and then southern Elbert County. And right there, yeah, that rotation is still very strong right on top of you folks in downtown Elberton as pushing off toward the hospital, Ruckersville, Arrowhead Point, and then Lounsville at 2:04. So still looks like a 2 o'clock time frame where it crosses the state line into Abbeville County, and that line certainly looks quite strong. So those of you watching, let's give you kind of a big picture idea. Those of you watching in western North Carolina, no threat for you. We're watching for some rain, possibly some rumbles of thunder. The severe concerns are in the southern part of the upstate this evening and afternoon. Elbert County, Abbeville, Greenwood, Lawrence, Union County. That's where the active tornado watch exists, and that goes until 7 o'clock. And that's going to be what we'll watch closely here. Is I think the most action is going to be between now and say 4 or 5 o'clock with this southern end of this line that's moving through these areas that could certainly begin to twist up something. We had a confirmed tornado in Atlanta Metro earlier today. Fulton County had some pretty significant damage back that way as part of some of this same line that's moved on through the area. So looking closely at this activity that's moving through Elbert County, that continues to be the strongest cell, as well as the one back toward its south and west, just north of Crawford and Vesta, right there in Elberton. There's the I-85 corridor. There's the Commerce where the outlets are, just for some perspective. And there's Lounsville, Abbeville, just to our east right there. And that's where we're watching these two cells right there. And the velocity, the strongest part of this line, is moving on through these areas. And I want to show you the wind speeds right now, because that is still some very tight rotation. And we're going to zoom into street level right here and kind of show you where we're talking about. Because for our friends in Elbert County, you need to be seeking shelter right now, because this rotation still is quite strong. The winds right here going toward our radar site. The winds in red going away from our radar site. So Ruckersville, you're right in the path of this. You need to be seeking shelter right now. Now, part of our technology here at WYFF4 is the ability to kind of look in closer at points of interest. So as I look closer street level at some of this activity, Harmony Church, Ruckersville, and then Van Creek Church. All areas, if you live near there, it's heading towards you any minute now. And the advantage with live Super Doppler 4 HD is this gives us instant data. We're able to see this with no delay since it's our very own radar. And this activity is pushing off toward the north and east at 25 miles per hour as we get another radar scan confirming that activity right there. So that's the concern as I pull out and show you big picture again. Now, the southern part of the area, more vulnerable to severe weather right now because you haven't had the steady dose of rain that most of the upstate has been having the past couple hours. Not to say you can't get severe weather in this activity, you're just more vulnerable to it in the southern sections like Union, Lawrence, Greenwood, Abbeville, Elbert, and parts of Hart County. And the reason being is you're kind of more exposed to some warmer air to the south, and these cells are a little bit more discrete. They're off by themselves. And when they're off by themselves, they're more vulnerable to begin to rotate. There's a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere this afternoon, and what that's doing is basically any storm that tries to crop up and get a little bit higher gives us that threat for severe weather. So Elbert County, back toward the west, we've got 2 cells here. Want to go ahead and put you folks in Abbeville County on alert. Looks like we're watching this closely. They're continuing the tornado warning until 2:15 right there. The new section of the cell is located, looks like near downtown Elberton, right on top of it. And it's picked up speed at about 30 miles per hour. So there's some new information from our folks and our friends at the National Weather Service office in Greer. So there's due west, there's Abbeville, there's Calhoun Falls, there's Lounsville. This is heading your way, and that's the concern right now, is that this activity does pose a threat for a tornado touchdown and in this area. So zooming in and showing you town by town where we're expecting it to go. Elbert County Health Center, Elberton, Lounsville, and then Herdmont at about 2:05. Those are the concerned areas. So Abbeville County, and then eventually, if it were to continue, going ahead and just putting you on alert. And Greenwood County, that should this rotating thunderstorm continue, it could in fact move toward our friends in uptown Greenwood and around the lake. So keep that in mind as we go into the afternoon hours. I know that top of mind right now is school dismissal, just about an hour away, or right now for some. And it's a conversation my wife and I had this afternoon is, you know, you do not want to be traveling when there's an active warning. And this cell right here does look concerning. This could touch down a tornado at any given moment. We want you to safely be in your safe place right now. If you can, in the comment section here on our Facebook or our app, let us know where you're watching from and what you're seeing. We'll keep you informed of what we're seeing in this neck of the woods. But this rotation, as strong as we've seen it here lately, in Elbert County back toward Abbeville County, right along Highway 77 right here. That's the concerning area, heading toward 284 in Abbeville County. It's just moments away from crossing the state line right here into Abbeville County. Right there, the concern area, just north of downtown Elberton. That's where we're concerned about. Could potentially be a tornado right there along Highway 77, pushing eastbound at now 30 miles per hour. So this in particular cell is speeding up its intensity, its forward speed. So we're watching that very closely as we continue to track this. And I want to show you one of our tools here is to slice this in half. And what this gives us is the ability to see how tall. Now, this storm goes up to about 20,000 feet, and that's where the strongest of our winds are right now. So as these storms climb up, they're able to tap into some of that activity in the upper parts of our atmosphere, and that causes those storms to begin to rotate. And if they continue to do that, they would indeed begin to give us a threat for a tornado. And this cell back here toward its south and west looks like it's going to go just south of Elberton, but this too, to me, looks like a tornado threat as well. And that rotation looks to be rather strong back toward southwest in Elbert County. So we want to watch both of those very closely. 2 cells basically on the board right now. And if this were to continue, let me put this in a loop here, we'll be able to see where this is heading in kind of real time. You can see the lifespan of this activity. And both are on the southern edge of this line, vulnerable to that rotation, more warmer, unstable air. Not just a blanket of rain surrounding it. Just north of there certainly is. And right in there, that boundary basically is creating the potential for severe weather, including the possibility of a touchdown of a tornado. So Lounsville, Calhoun Falls, Elberton, right in there, both of those areas do indicate to me that they're pretty high tornado threats. Wouldn't be surprised if the southern end of this storm does indeed get a tornado warning. So we're going to look at our debris, see if there's any debris being lofted. That's a technology that we have with our live Super Doppler 4 HD, and it would indicate to us if anything is being lofted up into the sky. And right now, no clear indication that we're getting debris lofted up, whether it's tree limbs or leaves. We're able to see that. A pretty decent hail core right here out of this southern end system. So as this crosses into Elbert County, wouldn't at all be surprised if some hail, rather large hail at that, heads toward downtown Elberton. And it looks like this storm just went north of Elberton, where this one's either going to hit downtown Elberton or just go south of it. So there are 2 storms right there that we're watching, and both are indicating to us that they have strong winds and the potential that both of those could be rotating. So 2 tornado concerns located in and around Elbert County, Abbeville County, Lounsville included in this. So looking at Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, and Anderson, you've got heavy rain. You're watching us right now, concerned about your area. Other than heavy rain, there are no clear threats for tornadic activity. So going about your day-to-day activities, picking up your kids from school, going home from work. We want you to do it, but cautiously. All right. Now, southern part of the area, I'm going to plot on the tornado watch that we have in place right now. Areas in red under a tornado watch. That basically means that conditions are favorable for tornadic activity. That includes Union County, Lawrence County, Greenwood County, Abbeville County, and Elbert County. And all of these areas at any point throughout the afternoon and early evening hours would have the potential of a tornadic activity or tornadic cell. So we're going to watch that very closely for you. So in these areas, especially as you go about your plans this afternoon and evening, you need to be aware of what's going on. Best way to do that if you're on the go is with the WYFF 4 mobile app. That'll keep you informed of what's going on when you're on the go. Now here at home, you just want to keep your TV up because these two cells right here to me are clearly indicating to us via live Super Doppler 4 HD that they have some rotation in it. And looking at the radar alone, there's a hook right there that's moving over Elberton. And here's another strong storm that has some very strong winds and a pronounced hail core right there. So as I look closer at the actual wind speeds in this, we're going to be able to see that that is some very tight rotation and potentially two tornadic threats right in there. And these winds that we're looking at in this are just really hard and heavy in these areas. So watching that closely, they're continuing this tornado warning here in Elbert County. And watching that, and then this one down here toward the south, it's going to get into southern Elbert County. So let's start with this one here. I want to ID some of these winds that are heading toward Point Jeter. Right in these areas, currently under a severe thunderstorm warning, but this wind in this cell really just quite strong, 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour in that neck of the woods of the storm. And then you got this activity over here in Elbert County that continues to show some very strong rotation as it pushes north and east toward Abbeville County. So both of these cells do indicate to us that there's some rotation in them, and those winds are very strong with this activity as it's moving on through. So that tornado warning goes until 2:15, and the National Weather Service indicating to us that both are strong to severe storms and watching them very closely. So live Super Doppler 4 HD, our very own radar, giving us real-time information here as to where these storms are located. You see it's in alert mode. The red beam right there shows you that we're watching these closely. That means dangerous weather's imminent. It's happening right now. And in this case, it's large hail, it's strong winds, and the potential that Abbeville and Elbert counties could be into some kind of tornadic activity here. So big picture here, Walhalla, Clemson, Pickens, Greenville, and Spartanburg, all watching these cells very closely. Right now, very heavy rainfall. That's the concern across the northern half of the upstate, while the southern half of the upstate in a much more volatile atmosphere right now. So as we get in closer, let's try to ID some of these wind speeds across Elbert County and parts of Lounsville. We want to be able to see how strong these winds are in these areas of Elberton and then northbound heading into Lounsville, because both of these cells are indicating some very strong rotation about to enter southern Elbert County, and then this one about to enter Abbeville County. We've been telling you about the top of the hour would be the time frame for some of this. Ruckersville, you got some strong winds right now moving towards you. That right there indicating some very strong winds in excess of 60 miles per hour going toward our radar site and 40 miles per hour going away from our radar site. So that right there is some very strong rotation. Now, we are looking up from I-85 toward the south, so we're looking kind of into the lower to mid sections of this storm right there, and that's very close to the state line, heading toward Lounsville. So a storm tracker here would put this near Ruckersville, Richard B. Russell State Park, Lounsville Community Center, all within the next 30 minutes. So that is the concern as we move forward here with both of these cells indicating to us some very strong rotation. And we've also got that cell that's back here toward the west. This one, has a pronounced hail core with it and also some very strong winds associated with that. That's about to enter Elbert County in the southern side of the county. The other one was a little bit farther north. It too has 60 mile per hour winds going toward our radar site and about 20 mile per hour winds going away from the radar. So both indicating some strong wind, and that is going to head basically along and due south of Highway 72 heading toward Elbert County. So two threats there for our friends in northeast Georgia. watching that closely there and watching it as it moves into parts of Abbeville County. So watching this activity up toward the north, they're going to continue for this particular cell. A severe thunderstorm warning that will go until 2:45. They're putting a tag on it with a tornado possible. So that means a severe thunderstorm warning. Wind is the bigger concern, but can't rule out a tornado with this southern end. So you got basically two lines, this one right here and this one right here, that are moving east. This one has more rotation with it and therefore is the tighter, more concerning tornado threat. This one is more of a damaging wind threat, but is really worth noting really closely that both have some strong rotation. This one's the strongest, therefore it has an active tornado warning with it. Now the threat is over for Elberton proper. But you got another one heading right towards you, so I don't want to give Elberton the all clear at all because, you know, the city limits may be down in here, and you may be grazed by some of this activity that's moving in from the south and west. So looking at our debris, that's a very important tool that we have here, and possibly a little bit of debris being lofted in right there, whether it be some strong winds. That coincides right there with where we are seeing that rotation as it moved on through. So that very well could be a telltale that there we do have possibly at least some tree limbs, some leaves being lofted into the sky with a potential tornado as this moves over toward Abbeville County. There's the state line. This is about to cross over it. Like we've been telling you, 2 o'clock is about the time frame where this strong cell could be moving towards you there. So Lounsville, Lake Succession, Antroville School. Of course, school dismissal coming up in about 30 minutes. With a tornado warning active right now, that would be something that we would probably see the school districts kind of get everybody in and safe and just kind of wait this storm out, because you do not want to be traveling in this, especially in Abbeville and Elbert County right now where we have active tornado warnings right now. Those sirens are going off. We're watching them closely here along 284 heading into Abbeville. Lounsville, you're in the threat of that. It looks like it's just north of you folks in Calhoun Falls. Let's take a look at that velocity and loop if we can. We can kind of see where this storm has come and kind of the fluctuation. That the velocity looks like it's actually getting quite a bit stronger here. So that threat for a potential tornado does indeed look like it's going up higher. And we can also look at our debris product. I'm going to put my hand right here where the strongest velocity is, and we do got a little bit of return right in here with possibly some debris being lofted up into the sky. Not a clear picture, but indicating here that possibly we do have some wind damage being lofted up. Now these are very strong storms. Anytime you get wind, our Doppler radar and the National Weather Service radar out of Atlanta and Greer are able to kind of see inside that storm and look for something that's not basically a raindrop or a hailstone. It could indicate a tree limb or a leaf or something more serious. So that's the concern across Elbert County, is we're getting some indication here from multiple options of our tools here that we could have some strong rotation. And this storm does go up to about 20,000 feet right there, indicating that it's tapping into some of that strongest rotation in the mid layers of our atmosphere. And it looks like that cell is about to cross over into Abbeville County into South Carolina right there. So Ruckersville, Coldwater. Those of you that are watching in Cherokee County, you were under a warning earlier. I do not see an active threat for you right now, as well as Greenville County. You got some heavy rainfall. I want you to be alert as we go into the afternoon hours. The biggest concern is right here, these vulnerable areas. Anywhere you see broken lines, you're a little bit more vulnerable to that. We've got warmer, more unstable conditions versus the blanket of rain that's going on off toward the north. So Calhoun Falls, Abbeville County, Greenwood County, all in the path of this right here. Downtown Elberton, you're in the clear from that first cell, but I want you to be on guard for this one back here toward the south. Get out of the way over here toward the other side of the map. You got two cells right here that are indicating some strong rotation. Abbeville County, you're the most imminent threat. Very strong rotation, indicating to us that there's at least some debris being lofted up into the sky, and then some very strong rotation just south that's going to go into southern Elbert County, which could be a threat for Calhoun Falls, southern Abbeville County, southern Greenwood County. Both of these are moving east along this broken line that is taking advantage of some very unstable conditions in these areas. So two active concerns for the potential of some tornadic activity. Lounsville down to Calhoun Falls, this first threat moving on in. We'll storm track this activity right here as that velocity and the strongest of the winds are now crossing over into South Carolina at any minute now. So Ruckersville, Lounsville, Lake Succession, and Antroville at about 2:45. So about 45 minutes, that storm is going to go from Elbert County on into Abbeville County, and that's where the strongest of the wind is and the most unstable conditions. You can see that warmth being pulled up into the southern side of this line, and this activity that's in Athens, Georgia, has had a history of producing damaging tornadoes in the Atlanta metro area, all taking advantage of that warmer, more unstable air being funneled in from the south, and that's going to be the vulnerable areas here over the next couple of hours. Not to say we can't get severe weather farther north of there, but the greatest concern will be here in the southern part of the upstate, from Atlanta metro over toward Anderson to Lawrence to basically Union southbound. And right now the most imminent concern is for you folks in Abbeville and Elbert County, as you've got two active cells that are pushing on in. Both have some concern, both have some potential to be producing some tornadic activity, and that rotation is appearing to tighten up a little bit. It's more compact, which does indicate to us that this possibly is some concern here for a potential tornado as it crosses the state line. There's the state line into Elbert County and Abbeville County, from Georgia into South Carolina, Ruckersville, right there, the strongest of that rotation. 63 miles per hour going toward our radar site, almost 40 miles per hour going away. So that is some strong wind shear. When two opposing winds are going like that, it indicates to us that some very strong rotation. And as we take off everything off the map, a very clean look here, one of our tools that we have just shows you the rotation, and it's very, very strong here across parts of the lake, and it's going to cross into Abbeville County. So right along Highway 81. We want you to be getting to your safe place in Lounsville right now. Do not hesitate. Go ahead and get there. These things are moving fast. They'll be on your doorstep any minute now. So Richard B. Russell State Park 203, Ridge Church 209, Lounsville 218, 219 Lounsville Community Center. So those are some points of interest as to where this tornadic activity could be heading. And we've got confirmation here from our Doppler that's showing, yeah, there's some indications, some rotation in these areas as it moves on off toward the east and slightly northeast, more east than northeast, but you get the picture. It's going to cross right into Abbeville County. And we do have some indication here that there could be some debris lofted up into the sky with this activity, but some very strong couplet of some rotation indicated right in this area as this crosses over into Abbeville County. And we'll likely get a new warning of some kind for Abbeville County with this rotation funneling in right there. There's where the back edge of the storm is coming down and where some of that activity is the strongest and most concerning. Look at that. That's some of the strongest wind speeds that we've seen so far with that. That brighter green indicating that it is really fluctuating up just a bit here. Just southeast of Ruckersville, over 60 miles per hour going toward our radar site, and the wind going away from our radar site right there in Ruckersville. So you get the picture, some opposing winds that are very strong. Anytime you have wind going one way at almost 40 miles per hour and another going 60 miles per hour, that indicates to us that it is potential of a tornado, and it has just crossed over the state line. The threat is now in Abbeville County. Not to say Elbert County, you're in the clear, but it does look like you are continuing to see that moving on through. It's right over Russell State Park, moving at about 30 miles per hour. So it's going to get very close to Lounsville, right along Highway 81, Highway 71. Lounsville Community Center, Brownlee Crossroads, Flat Rock Church at 2:30. And we're going to watch that very closely as it moves on through. Very strong winds right there indicated with that. And we can see some of our debris product is a couple of scans behind it where that velocity was very strong, possibly a little bit being lofted up into the sky. We're going to watch that very closely over the next couple of minutes as this scan comes back in, just a few scans behind some of our other data, and we'll watch that closely right in here for Lounsville, as we've got two cells we're concerned about. Now, the tornadic portion, let's say the northern half of Elbert County, your section is clear. I want to say that carefully because you've got a second cell in the southern part of the county, and to me, this is a high tornado threat as well. It's right there in the southern side of the system. It's got a very clear couplet right here of some strong winds going away from the radar site and then going toward our radar site. Wouldn't it all surprise me if a new tornado warning is not issued right in here? At the very least, some strong winds, and we're watching this for Abbeville County. This warning goes until 2:15. This one right here goes until 2:45. Putting you on alert here. Not an active tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning. Nonetheless, damaging winds could be heading towards you in Silk Mills, Beverly, Calhoun Falls, and then Mount Carmel. Again, these are the southern sides of Abbeville and Elbert County. A little bit different, just a touch to our south of where that first cell. So there are the two cells. Basically, the rotation very strong right here as it crossed over Elbert County into Abbeville County, and the lakes usually impact the rotation in these. They're very vulnerable to dips in elevation, and with the water right here, sometimes that can enhance or just kind of disrupt the rotation a little bit. But you get the picture. Two areas that we're isolating here in Elbert County and now Abbeville County of some rotation. Possibly some debris right in there, and parts of Elbert County being lofted up. You know, anytime you see brighter colors right there, it kind of indicates to us that, you know, that's more than just a hailstone, more than just a heavy raindrop that our radar is being able to pick up on. The potential is there that this could be some damage in this area, and you can see the lifespan of this velocity and kind of the strength of it is how it's kind of ramped up, really flared up here in parts of Elbert County. So two threats for Elbert County. Please stay in your safe place anywhere south of Elberton and Elbert County, and then in Abbeville County, anywhere along Calhoun Falls and north. You need to be on alert right now that a possible tornado could be on your doorstep here in Lounsville. Let's do a close-in storm track here for Lounsville along Highway 81. Get some points of interest here for you, possibly some street levels here on just east of the lake for our friends there in Lounsville. You need to be seeking shelter on Hutchison Road, Ridge Road, Horseshoe Road, watching that closely and watching it as it continues to indicate to us that there will be a continuance or a reissuance of the tornado warning in Abbeville County, because this is some strong rotation that we're showing here, and the National Weather Service seeing it too. They're going to continue this tornado warning and extend it for other areas downstream in Abbeville County. So there's Horseshoe Road, there's Ridge Road, there's Hutchison Road, and there's Osprey Way. All right, right in here, we've got the strongest of the winds moving over you right now. Now, as we pull out just a bit, there's where it's at right now. Here's where it's going. Lounsville, you need to be seeking shelter anywhere right along Highway 81 and 284, right there at the intersection. That's where it's heading. And giving you kind of a close-in look here, Lounsville community, Brownlee Crossroads, and then Flat Rock Church, all within the next 20 to 30 minutes. This will be heading towards you, and I do expect the National Weather Service to expand this to the east. As we pull out, we'll go ahead and give you an early look at where this is heading. In parts of due west, Abbeville, very likely to see this continues somewhere in this neck of the woods, and going ahead and put you on alert there in Greenwood County that you're very likely to see some type of a warning your way too. So go ahead and get prepared to get to your safe place. If you're on your way to pick up your loved one at school, you want to go ahead and just kind of be getting your plans in order here as we're approaching the 2:15 hour right now. Lounsville, Antroville, due west, and Greenwood, all within the next hour, this will be heading your way. This cell is traveling at about 30 miles per hour. And you got that cell and you got this one in the southern part of Elbert County. Both are concerning to us right now because both have indicated at some point of showing some sort of rotation, and strong rotation at that. So two clear indicating cells here, and both are very strong. I mean, that is some very strong rotation to southern Elbert County, and that is moving toward Calhoun Falls and southern Elbert County. You need to treat this like a tornado warning. You really do. Whether it's wind coming at you in a straight line or wind coming at you in a rotating fashion, unless you got some damaging winds. Wind coming away from our radar at 20 miles per hour, wind going toward our radar at about 62 miles per hour. Highway 77 going into Elberton, the concern right there, and we've just got confirmed tornado, possible here 13 miles northeast of Elberton. So we're seeing that the damage there from Elberton is indicating to us that this probably is a tornado on the ground as it crossed into Abbeville County, and they just reissued that tornado warning for this northern section of this right here. So a dangerous and confirmed tornado here across Abbeville and Elbert County, moving northeast at about 13 miles northeast of Elberton, heading at about 30 miles per hour. So a confirmed tornado has done some damage in these areas. In Lounsville, it's heading towards you, Lounsville Community Center, Brownlee Crossroads, and Flat Rock. So watching that closely here as we're seeing the confirmation here of the potential based on our radar products that debris has been lofted up into the atmosphere, that this very well could be a tornado in Lounsville pushing off toward the east. We showed you that bright spot flare up there as as it crossed over from Elbert County into Abbeville County, and that was concerning to us. And right now, it's possible that there's a tornado on Tom Young Ridge Road and Felkel Landing Road in Abbeville County. There's Highway 81 as it moves off toward the east. There's Lounsville, Depot Street, Bell Street, Shaw Road, okay? You're right there where that rotation could be, You're right along 81. And it looks like it's riding right along 81. Please seek shelter right now. This is a dangerous tornado as it moves out of Elbert County, as it moves off toward the east, and now getting a new tornado warning toward the south right there, as we've got now 2 areas that are of concern. This one right here that we were watching, you are now under a new tornado warning in Elbert County. This one very concerning as well. So a confirmed tornado right here as it left Elbert County into Abbeville County. That's a concern, and possibly a second tornado out of this cell right here in Elbert County. Please seek shelter. This is a dangerous storm. We're seeing confirmation with our products. This indeed is possibly a tornado on the ground, at least possibly 2 of them here. 3 o'clock is when this warning down here toward the south goes into effect till, and that's Elbert County, or Elberton, downtown, south down 77, and that's where the greatest rotation is right here. And a confirmed tornado just crossed over Elbert County into Abbeville County, and it's heading toward the east, toward due west, just north of you folks in Calhoun Falls. A very serious situation here in the southern parts of our viewing area for you folks in Elbert, Abbeville, and now Greenwood County. You need to be kind of getting your plan in order. We've got 2 areas here that are indicating to us some very strong rotation. One is right here in Lounsville, rotating right there. The second one is right here, possibly producing a tornado here. We've got confirmation from some of our products that there was enough debris being lofted in the air, like we saw on some of our tools here, that was possibly a tornado that moved through eastern Elberton into Lounsville, and there's the track that it's kind of held for us. And 2 areas very close to one another, but 2 dangerous storms separate. They're not the same storm, they're separate. So one is now in Abbeville County. That one is moving east toward due west into eventually Greenwood County. And the second one here is in Elbert County, southern side of town, Highway 77 pushing off toward the east as well. Calhoun Falls, Lounsville, all in the path of this. Let's get back to our radar product, show you these 2 cells, 2 active tornado warnings, 2 separate dangerous storms in Elbert County and Abbeville County. This one a confirmed tornado as it moved on through Elbert County.
The National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for central Abbeville County in upstate South Carolina, northwestern Greenwood County in upstate South Carolina, until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located 13 miles northeast of Elberton, or near Lounsville, moving east at 30 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard, damaging tornado. Source, emergency management confirmed tornado. Impact, you are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. The tornado will be near Lake Secession around 2:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Abbeville and due west around 2:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Hodges and Shoals Junction around 2:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Greenwood and Kilchesbury around 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service Greenville-Spartanburg by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSG.
Abbeville, because we've known that it's been, in fact, possible tornado there. And getting word now of significant damage on Highway 17. Highway 17 between Bowman and Elberton, significant damage, okay, folks? So that is a very dangerous storm that's in between, or that was in between Elberton and Bowman and headed into Abbeville County right now. And in fact, rescue crews are on their way right now. All right, so really a dangerous situation in Elbert County. Our prayers are with you folks there in Elberton and points in between Bowman. And we've got 2 cells that are on top of you right now. Lounsville, this is the one that caused that damage that has given us some significant damage along Highway 17 in between Bowman and Elberton, and that's where that cell is going right now. There's Antroville, there's Due West, there's Highway 71. So a confirmed tornado with this activity as it continues to show some very strong signs of rotation. Brownlee Crossroads, Edgewood School, Fairs Crossroads, and then Buckstand by about 3 o'clock. Extremely dangerous situation in these areas, folks. You need to be getting to your safe place. A confirmed tornado on the ground right here as it moved out of Georgia into Abbeville. And we can kind of look back at the lifespan of this and look at that rotation right there. Very dangerous storm right there. Yeah, that's a very dangerous storm. Very significant rotation right in there. And in fact, a new tornado confirmed. We've got a debris signature right in here that is near Lounsville. So confirmed tornado right here near Lounsville in Abbeville County. There's the debris that's being lofted up into the sky right there. That's more than a raindrop. That's more than a hailstone. Brownlee Crossroads West right in here. Let's kind of loop it back here, yeah. Anytime you see a brighter spot right in there, kind of can isolate it a little bit, and it shows us, yeah, it looks like just southeast of Lounsville, right in there, a bright spot kind of blipped up on the map. And that to us indicates that there could be a tornado that's on the ground near Highway 81 and 71. Possibly some debris, whether it be tree limbs, leaves, maybe even more significant or severe than that, being lofted up into the sky near Felkel Landing. We mentioned that a minute ago. There's Trask Road, there's Frank's Place Road, there's Highway 71, there's Hannah Drive. This in Lounsville, a confirmed tornado right now moving through. There's the debris that's being lofted up into the sky. So this tells us this is more than just strong winds. This is potentially a tornado on the ground. Brownlee Crossroads, Edgewood School, Fair Crossroads, and Buckstand. You do not need to be traveling right now. I know this is a time where many schools are starting to let out. You need to hunker down where you're at in Abbeville County and not travel. So 2 confirmations of 2 tornadoes here. One in Bowman and parts of Elberton. That crossed over into Abbeville County. And now this one, a very significant storm that's just south of Elberton in southern Elbert County. We've got 2 areas that have moved on through. So in between Bowman and Elberton, that's where we've had some significant damage right there. And that confirmed tornado crossed over into Lounsville, and that's where we have an active tornado on the ground. Please seek shelter in Abbeville County and Greenwood County. This cell is heading toward Cokesbury, parts of uptown Greenwood northbound. There's the I-26 corridor. You need to be seeking shelter, the 25 corridor, I should say. Highway 25 corridor heading north. That is, you are in the path of that. Brownlee Crossroads, Due West, Ware Shoals, and Coronacre, all by 325. You need to be seeking shelter right now. So getting some new information here, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado is now located 11 miles west of Abbeville. All right, it's heading towards you in Abbeville right now. Please get to your safe spot in Abbeville, Lounsville. It's moving east at 30 miles per hour. So a confirmed tornado right here heading toward Abbeville. All right, we want you to take this serious. Dangerous situation here as this line is moving off toward the east here. This warning does include Greenwood County, does include Abbeville County, and you got this rotation here across Elberton. So let's start with this cell right here, the confirmed tornado that we have. We'll get in close. We'll show you town by town, street by street where this is at, and then we'll get to the southern side of the storm, which is that one in southern Elbert County. So a confirmed tornado right here. This near Brownlee Crossroads, Highway 81, Highway 71, pushing east. The winds here going toward our radar. Instant data right here. That's the beauty of live Super Doppler 4 HD. We're able to see inside the storm, give you a minute-by-minute look at where these storms are heading with no delay, okay? Fire Tower Road, where it meets Highway 71, is where that tornado is very likely on the ground right now. Very dangerous situation for Kate Lane. Highway 71, the intersection of 81. Let's give you a storm track right in here close into home, and we'll kind of look at that as it moves on through these areas close in, then we'll give you a bigger track. So Brownlee Crossroads and then Flat Rock Church. If you're anywhere near those, a tornado is almost on top of you, okay? Now let's pull out just a little bit. Highway 201, Buckstand, Due West, Miller's Mill, just north of Abbeville proper. This is all heading towards your neck of the woods at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. looking at this cone as it moves your way. Brownlee Crossroads, Fairs Crossroads, Buckstand, and Dixie High School. Please seek shelter right now. Just before 3 o'clock, within the next 30 minutes, a confirmed tornado could be on top of you. All right, please take this serious, folks. This is more than just a strong storm. We've got some confirmation of some significant damage in Elbert County between Bowman and Elberton. This same cell has crossed over into Abbeville with some of our debris products here indicating that we've got debris being lofted up into the sky. And we've got that rotation here across Highway 71, and that's where the continued, strongest part of that is, and still got some indication here that there's some debris with this, okay? So this indicates to us that inside this storm is not just heavy rain or hail, but possibly debris from the ground being lofted up into the sky. So a confirmed tornado lies right here in Lounsville and Abbeville County pushing eastbound, right along Highway 71 and 81 where they meet. This is heading towards you folks in Abbeville, and want you to be seeking shelter right there on north up 20 toward due west, okay? And eventually into Greenwood County. So please take that seriously. Let's go down to the southern side of the storm, which is in southern Elbert County, an equally dangerous storm here across Elberton southbound. Now, you just had that first one that moved through with significant damage. There's Bowman, there's Elberton. Right in there is where we had significant damage from that first tornado that moved on through. A confirmed tornado moved right across northern Elbert County into Abbeville County, and it sits right there. We've also got some clear indications that this could be a tornado in Elberton southbound along Highway 17. Some very strong rotation right here. In fact, looking at some of the winds in this, those winds are as strong as we've seen going toward our radar, 60, 70 miles per hour, and right along Highway 17 right there, moving off toward the north and east there. That is some very strong rotation right along Highway 17. Yeah, almost 80 miles per hour. And then 50 miles per hour. This very well could be a tornado on the ground as well. And right along Highway 17. Now, this is on south of where that first cell moved through, where we had a confirmed tornado in Bowman heading toward Elberton, and a brand new tornado warning being issued out of this activity. So we've got a new look at this. Now, some of this will get cleaned up here in just a minute, but we know it's a lot of boxes. But right in here, if you'll work with me here, there's where the box is from the new National Weather Service issued tornado warning. So we'll get some of these others to fall off here in a second, but right there is the most dangerous cell as it's moving toward Calhoun Falls. Very likely a tornado on the ground with this activity. That's as strong of rotation as we've seen so far. Let's give you a couple of storm tracks. Yep. Right there, just isolating just the rotation out of this. This is heading toward the east, towards you folks in Calhoun Falls. Please get to your safe spot right now. This is a separate storm than the first one. This is not the same storm. It's a second one coming right for you at Bank School, Hunter's Chapel near the power plant there at the lake, and then Calhoun Falls at 252. So please get to the innermost part of your home, get to a safe space. You do not want to be traveling in this. You do not want to be having school dismissal at this time in Abbeville, Greenwood, or Elbert Counties. 2 confirmed tornadoes moving through parts of the area with significant damage here across Highway 17. There's 17 south. That's where the new cell is. 17 north is where we've had some damage. And let's look at the debris if we can here over the course of time. There's the hail cores. There's where possibly we've got some debris being lofted up, and right there is a clear debris right there in parts of Abbeville County. We're getting a little bright spot right in there that could indicate some damage just north of Calhoun Falls, right in that area. So very possible that as we've gone throughout the past hour here, this cell that moved through Highway 17 being pushed up toward the north, and right there where we've got some rotation, that's where we've had some debris. It's a couple of scans behind because that product takes a little bit longer to kind of get in, but there's the rotation as it sits right now in Abbeville County, and as it continues to move on through the area here, Highway 284 and then Highway 17 very closely to those areas, okay? So 2 active possible tornadoes on the ground. One in Abbeville County has had a history of producing significant damage. Getting word from the emergency management folks there along Highway 17 of significant damage between Elberton and Bowman. Edgewood School, it's heading towards you in Abbeville County. Fairs Crossroads, Buckstand, and then Arborville at about 249. Both of these cells pushing eastbound, both of them very strong, possible tornado makers. Let's look at some of our other data here, some of our debris field. We can see inside of the storm what it's doing at 2 levels. And right there is where we saw some of that rotation. Very possible that this is a tornado on the ground there in Abbeville County, getting some indication that there's still some debris being lofted up into the sky. Now that's a product that we have here at WYFF4, and that co-locates right there where we've got some of the strongest rotations. So a debris signature showing up here, indicating to us that this is not just strong wind, but we've got damage being pushed up into the clouds, being lofted up with some of those strong winds that are in excess of 70, 80 miles per hour and rotating in a strong fashion. So very likely a confirmed tornado moving right now along Highway 71 just south.
The National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Elbert County in northeastern Georgia, southwestern Abbeville County in upstate South Carolina until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:22 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 6 miles east of Elberton, or near Middleton, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and quarter-size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Calhoun Falls around 2:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this dangerous thunderstorm include Fort Sonia. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service Greenville-Spartanburg by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following county: Elbert, Georgia, and Abbeville, South Carolina.
Highway 71. So please, if you know anybody living in the path of this, please get on the phone, give them the call right now. It sits right along Gasaway Drive, Martins Mill Road, Rock Hill Road, right there in 81 and getting close to 28 right here. So anywhere north of Abbeville proper, Rock Hill Church, Edgewood Church, there's possibly a tornado knocking on your door right now as we're watching this activity push on through. So a confirmed tornado in Abbeville County pushing off toward the east on Highway 71. We've had reports of significant damage on Highway 17 in Elbert County. Watching that closely as it moves on through the area right now. So there's Brownlee Crossroads. You've got that green right there meeting it as we're watching it closely there. So this is now an imminent threat for Brownlee Crossroads, Abbeville, and there's downtown Abbeville, there's 28, there's 201. We need to put you on alert that this possibly is heading your way. And down toward the south, getting an update here on this back edge of this, we'll put a storm track on it here for you, kind of farther out. Buckstan, Arborville, Fairs Crossroads, and then crossing into Greenwood County. You're included in this warning right now. And you got this very strong rotation back here toward Calhoun Falls. This would be the southern side of the storm. Still a part of Elbert County, but this is going to go into Abbeville County. Latimer, parts of Calhoun Falls, near Beverly. Possible tornado on the ground right now, right along Highway 72. This is a brand new cell right here that we've been tracking on the southern side. That's separate from the one that touched down a tornado in Bowman, parts of Elberton. You got 60, 70 mile per hour winds going toward our radar with almost 40 mile per hour winds going away. So this is some very tight rotation circulating right here and a very dangerous storm heading toward Calhoun Falls High School. If you know anybody at Calhoun Falls High School, stay put. Stay where you're at. This is a time where a lot of folks are thinking, hey, I can probably get home real quick. Don't do it. Do not be traveling in this type of environment. 248 for Calhoun Falls, Jacobs Chapel by 3 o'clock. All right, this is heading toward the east very quickly right now at about 30 miles per hour. A dangerous storm right there and indicating to us still some rotation. This takes off everything off the map and gives us what we need to know, right? Where the strongest rotation is. Live Super Doppler 4 HD, our technology here, pinpointing it right there. Right there along Highway 72, approaching the lake right here. And then a separate strong piece of rotation north of you folks in Calhoun Falls. So those of you that are thinking of Calhoun Falls, well, the threat's over. That one's right there. Well, no, you got another one headed for you right here from the south. So depending upon what part you're in, of the county. We've got 2 separate tornado threats, equally as possible that we've got 2 tornadoes on the ground, okay? And this one right here has had a history of producing significant damage in Elbert County, Georgia, and a confirmed tornado via some debris there in Abbeville County, with a second one right in here. So we know where the rotation is. Let's look at the debris, check in on that, and see where we possibly could have some debris funneling up into the sky. And right there is a bright spot. That could be some debris being lofted up into the sky right there in Elbert County, as a possible tornado is giving us a signature right there on the southern side of the storm. Yeah, right in there, that was right where our rotation was the strongest in Elbert County as it pushes on into Abbeville County. So a very dangerous situation right here in these areas as we're watching it closely here. And right there is where that rotation is the strongest. About to cross over into Abbeville County near Calhoun Falls. There's Lounsville. There's Highway 184, 71, and that's where this rotation is located. Please stay where you're at. Do not be traveling in this. The threat is right over Abbeville County. Let's give you kind of a bigger picture look at this. 2 areas that are rotating right there at the lake, and very serious rotation still up here across parts of Abbeville. All right, here are the 2 threats. Due west-south into Abbeville. That's one threat that's produced a confirmed tornado. That is heading toward Cokesbury, Uptown Greenwood. You're included in that. Please get to your safety spot. Interior part of your home, interior part of your business. Many of you are watching at work right now. You need to seek shelter. Cokesbury, Mount Gallagher, Waterloo, Cross Hill, all in the path of this storm. It include parts of Lawrence County as well shortly as this confirmed tornado is pushing off toward the east, okay? We've had a history of this producing damage, folks, so this is more than just your typical storm that you kind of watch come on through that could touch down and then lift back up. We've had a history of this moving on through. Getting word here from our folks upstairs. If you have it, let's go ahead and throw it up there. When you do, please let me know in my ears. Yep, and there's some damage. Yep, that's our tornado confirmed there in Elbert County. This from the emergency management officials there of what looks to be a building knocked down by the tornado there in parts of Bowman and Elberton. Very dangerous situation. Rescue crews indicated to us that they were on the way there. Not sure of any injuries at this moment. We're working to gather that information here for you. As we get more, we'll let you know. But Elbert County, Georgia, confirmed tornado right here. Looks to be significant damage to a building right there near Bowman and Elberton. And that same cell crossed over into Abbeville County as it pushes on through these areas. And, you know, that building really impacted pretty heavily due to this tornado that is confirmed here across Elbert County. So thank you for those pictures. We'll let you know when we have more there. And if you can safely do so, please let us know what you're seeing in your neck of the woods. I see 2 potential tornadoes. One, a confirmed tornado, could still be on the ground in Abbeville County. And really, both are almost in Abbeville County right now. This one crossing over from Elbert County into Calhoun Falls. That first one tracked from Bowman right here over northern Elbert County into Lounsville, right there just south of you folks in Anderson, and that's where the most dangerous part of the storm sits right there. And then you got another one that's in Calhoun Falls just south right there. So 2 active tornado possibilities. This one's still indicating some very strong rotation just north of you folks in Abbeville, and this one in Calhoun Falls. We're going to start with this one. Very strong rotation sits along Highway 28, southeast of Brownlee Crossroads. The wind going away from our radar site at a very strong pace, and the wind going toward our radar site at a very fast clip, and some degree of some debris being lofted up into the sky right there. That indicates to us that we have ground truth. We have truth that this is indeed giving some damage that can pick up on tree limbs, or even more severe, you know, sheet metal, anything like that can be detected by live Super Doppler 4 HD and our access to the National Weather Service radars as well. So a possible tornado moving northeast at about 25 miles per hour, located just west of Abbeville. That would be this cell right here near 71, south of Brownlee Crossroads right there as it's pushing on through the area here. So we'll give you a couple of storm tracks, one in closer, let you know kind of where this is in right now, and then we'll kind of zoom out and give you a bigger heads up for you folks in Greenwood County, northern Abbeville County. So here's close in, Campfield Church, Buckstand, Bethlehem Associate Reformed Presbyterian Church, okay, Arborville 253. Right there before 3 o'clock. Those are some points of interest where our technology is showing right there could be an imminent danger. Kind of bigger picture right here, going into Abbeville, out of Abbeville into Greenwood County. Want to put you folks in Hodges on alert. Cokesbury, this is crossing the county line from Abbeville into Greenwood about 3 o'clock. That's why you're under the warning right now, giving you an early heads up that this dangerous storm that has confirmed giving us a confirmed tornado is moving your way. Then we go down here towards southern Abbeville County. This warning goes until 3 o'clock. A pronounced hail core, very large hail right in here near Highway 81. This cell right near Calhoun Falls, a very dangerous situation. That hail, very large. I mean, that's well over an inch in size. Would be very large hail heading towards you folks on Highway 81. Very dangerous storm right there. Anytime you have the hail core just north of you, it's usually the rotation is just south, and that's where we're indicating that the possible tornado could be located over Calhoun Falls. And right in there, directly over Calhoun Falls, you need to be seeking shelter right now in Charleston Crossroads, Watts, right along Highway 72. This is a separate cell than you probably saw earlier. Our wind going toward the radar site here, 71 miles per hour, away at about 49. So we've got some strong winds going right in here like that. So very strong winds, possibly a tornado right here along Highway 72. We'll give you a couple of storm tracks right here from Calhoun Falls eastbound. Dangerous situation for you folks here in Abbeville County. 2 possible tornadoes. The southern end of this heading toward Watts, Pleasant Grove School, and then Pine Grove School. We'll pull out here and give you kind of a bigger picture set look at that southern side. Now we got 2 areas we're concerned about here. You see clearly that rotation right there, and clearly this one right here as this is moving on through. Charleston Crossroads, Abbeville, Promised Land, and then Harris by about 3:30. Getting new word here of a possible tornado that is located near Abbeville. All right, this one would be the one right here. Confirmed with some debris moving northeast at now 35 miles per hour. All right, a considerable threat right here. Just north of Abbeville. All right, we've got the debris signature still showing up. That's a concern to us because what we're seeing here is that not only are we seeing the strong winds rotating, but we've got a degree of some debris being lofted up into the sky, whether it be 15, 20,000 feet in the sky. The radar picks up on the fact that that's not rain, that's not hail, but rather it's debris. It's something that doesn't belong, and that's what these brighter colors indicate right here, and possibly a tornado on the ground. And that matches up right there very well with where we're seeing live Super Doppler 4 HD indicate to us that some of that is moving on through, and that storm climbs up to about 20,000 feet. So there's where that debris is being lofted up. What happens here is that wind comes in and goes up like that and spirals some of that debris up into the sky, and we're able to see some of that on live Super Doppler 4 HD as we put it in 3D motion. So a very dangerous situation. A confirmed tornado now moving through northern Abbeville County, with southern Abbeville County near Calhoun Falls possibly seeing a tornado as well. 2 active areas that are very concerning for us right here. Very strong hail. I mean, extremely large across Calhoun Falls. That's inch to maybe 2-inch size as we're looking at this closely. Getting word here from emergency managers. Okay, so new information here to Elbert County. Look at that hail, though. My word. From Latimer down to Calhoun Falls, that hail almost 2 inches in size as it's pushing off toward the east right here near Calhoun Falls. Look at that hail as it moved over the lake out of Elbert County. 1.3 inches right there. Very large hail heading towards you folks in Calhoun Falls. Let's pull out a little bit. We'll give you a big picture look. New information in here from Highway 17 in Elbert County. That commercial structure, that building right there that completely collapsed. Emergency management officials are saying no injuries. So that's some great news right now. You saw the pictures. We'll bring some of them back up here for you if we have them upstairs. Extremely dangerous situation right there in Elbert County. Confirmed tornado moved into Abbeville County, and that's where the danger sits right now across parts of Abbeville downtown and Calhoun Falls. 2 active tornadoes possibly on the ground. A significant amount of lightning associated with this as well. And then northern Elbert County, right there is where that tornado touched down to begin with. And right near Bowman into Elberton, a business completely, had that roof collapse down. Thankfully, no reports of injuries at this time. All right. So watching that very closely here. All right, let's get in closer here. You can see as that storm moved out of Elbert County, we've got 2 areas of concern across parts of Abbeville and Calhoun Falls. 2 separate cells here that have moved through a confirmed tornado. We had debris being lofted up in the sky, and both of these areas, Abbeville, north toward due west is where the danger sits right now. And this tornado warning does include uptown Greenwood, north toward Cokesbury, okay? You need to be in your safe place at this moment. in Calhoun Falls and in Abbeville. Both of these cells are dangerous and could produce a tornado at any time, if not continuing to produce a tornado. Let's turn on our debris product and put that in motion. We'll kind of see the lifespan of this as maybe we back it up 2 hours and we can kind of see where some of this has moved on through. And look at that Calhoun Falls, getting probably some hail clutter right in there too, but that's some large hail that has moved on through. And some debris right there where that structure had the tornado. That same cell crossed over out of Elbert County into Abbeville County and now sits just south of due west, north of Abbeville, and that's where we still have some debris being indicated here. That tells me this is still a very dangerous storm. Now, we've got a lot of hail in this storm in Calhoun Falls. That's what our debris could be picking up on as well, but possibly some debris mixed in there with that as well. Two strong indicating signatures here of some rotation. So as we take everything off but the rotation, that's the most important part, right? We know where the storm is rotating and where that potential tornado could be. And here at Live Super Doppler 4HD, we're able to take all that information off and just give you what you need to know. And right here, north of Abbeville, you see that dangerous storm sits right there. All right, there's where we possibly have a tornado on the ground, and it's near Highway 20, just crossed over you, heading toward 203. Central Shiloh, Miller's Mill, that's where it's heading right now. That's the strongest rotation as it pushes east. There's the county line. All right, so Greenwood County, you need to be on alert. This is heading right towards you any minute now. And there's that debris signature still showing up here across Highway 28. That indicates to us that as this storm comes through and lofts up some wind, you're getting some debris that basically Doppler radar is indicating is not rain, it's not hail, it's something that doesn't belong, okay? So whether that be tree limbs or more, we're indicating, and look at that. Yeah, wow. Very possible of a dangerous tornado right here. That's some of the strongest debris signatures we've had near Miller's Mill. Please seek shelter. Very likely a dangerous tornado on the ground right here, Central Shiloh near Miller's Mill. Some significant debris showing up here on Live Super Doppler 4HD and the GSP radar right in here. Old Hodges Road near Stevenson right here. This is heading off toward the east right there. Ben, this is very near your community there, you know, right in there, part of Old Hodges Road, Stevenson Road, as we're watching this closely as it moves off toward the east. Wow, that is some very strong rotation. We'll put it matches up really well with where our strong rotation is, and getting some indication that Live Super Doppler 4HD is seeing some debris in this, and it is a very dangerous storm. Winds going at 61 miles per hour toward the radar site, almost 60 miles per hour going away. So some tight rotation right here in Abbeville County, very likely a dangerous and large tornado north of Miller's Mill, pushing off toward the east at 35 miles per hour. Folks in Greenwood County, you need to be seeking shelter right now. This is heading toward Hodges, is heading toward Dalewood, Pine Burr School at almost 3 o'clock. Again, this is a time where many are starting to get out of school. A confirmed tornado now crossing from Abbeville County into Greenwood County. I can tell you this is a very dangerous storm, and we're getting some of our tools to tell us that, wow, very dangerous situation here across parts of Abbeville County, and a significant degree of debris right in here across Abbeville County near Central Shiloh and Miller's Mill, okay? That tells us that this is some debris from the ground being lofted up into the sky, and tells us that this is very likely a tornado on the ground in Abbeville County. Now, there's the county line right there. Let's pull out a little bit and check on the debris with this cell toward the south. So we got that debris. We've also got some hail and some strong storms and that rotation across Calhoun Falls that's now pushing off toward the east right in here. So got some rotation in that area. Also in this area of Abbeville County. So two areas right there. Watching it as it moves on through. Calhoun Falls, 35 miles per hour. Look at that hail. That is some extremely large hail north of Calhoun Falls, 1 to 2 inch in diameter. As it's heading towards you folks in Abbeville County, you're going to get some very large hail soon. As we look at this, boy, that is a tall thunderstorm right there that goes up to 30,000 feet, and very likely some very large hail with this cell, and possibly even a tornado located with this one as well, as it is moving on through parts of Calhoun Falls. Very dangerous storm right there with that hail going way up. So what Live Super Doppler 4HD is doing here is Cedric slices in half. Basically, it shows us this storm in 3 dimensions. We're able to see where that that hail core is and likely how tall it goes. And basically this is a strong, sturdy structure basically that could be giving us a tornado north of Calhoun Falls. And then we've got that cell that's over due west in Abbeville that is showing us some debris as well that very likely is a tornado on the ground crossing into Greenwood County. So please get to your safe spot there in Greenwood, uptown Greenwood, northbound. There's Miller's Mill. We even got a little bit of a signature right there that co-locates right there with where our debris signature was. Yeah, it's very likely a tornado near Miller's Mill. Crossing over into Abbeville County. There's our rotation product. You see the wind going toward our radar off of I-85, the wind going away from our radar. And right here, folks, I'm very concerned about the fact that this is a tornado in Abbeville County crossing into Greenwood County. There's our debris signature. Clearly indicates to us we're seeing some debris right here, okay? This is an extremely dangerous situation. National Weather Service now seeing it as well. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado is located 6 miles northeast of Abbeville, and it's heading toward Hodges, okay? This would be Greenwood County. So this is a confirmed tornado now that is crossing over from Abbeville County into Greenwood County. Please get to your safe spot. We're seeing debris with this. This is locating or lofting up that debris way up into the atmosphere, and we're able to see it on live Super Doppler 4HD. So Pine Bur School, West Hodges Intermediate School, Hodges and Cokesbury, okay? A confirmed tornado heading towards you right now in Greenwood County. Please get to your safe spot. Get on the phone, call your family and friends. We're seeing significant debris being lofted up into that, which unfortunately means to us that we're seeing debris and damage caused by this potential tornado in these locations, okay? There's Miller's Mill. There's parts of Abbeville County as we watch this cell come on through these areas. Parts of Old Hodges Road, Jefferson Drive, that's where live Super Doppler 4HD is picking up on that tornado. We're getting instant data here. It's our very own radar, live Super Doppler 4HD, that lets us know minute by minute with no delay where that potential tornado is. And I'm seeing it right there over Miller's Mill. We're getting a debris.
National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Abbeville County in upstate South Carolina until 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles southwest of Abbeville, or 6 miles east of Calhoun Falls, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and $half size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Abbeville around 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service Greenville-Spartanburg by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following county: Abbeville, South Carolina.
There's uptown Greenwood. There's 254, 178, and 25 going up toward the north. Very likely we have a tornado right there. There's where the rotation was over Miller's Mill. It's heading across the county line into Greenwood County as we speak. And that's where the rotation is the strongest. You see that little appendage right there. We had that bright spot show up. That was likely some debris showing up on all of our products, basically. Right there is where the active tornado sits right now. So an instant look on live Super Doppler 4HD as to where that is. It's heading toward Dalewood. It's heading toward the Greenwood County Airport. It's heading toward Stony Point. And it's heading toward Coronacre. Confirmed and dangerous tornado heading towards you right now in Greenwood County. Please seek shelter. Live Super Doppler 4 HD indicating to us that it's still a very dangerous storm. We've got a continuance of this active tornado warning toward the south. Abbeville, we've got golf ball sized hail that's moved from Calhoun Falls towards you. This is an extremely large hail maker. You've got golf ball sized hail here along Highway 72. I mean, that is just coming down right there across Highway 72, and we've got the rotation just on the southern side of that right there. Extremely large hail and a confirmed large and dangerous tornado. All right, so getting some information here as they just reissued that tornado warning up toward parts of Greenwood County. There's that 2-inch sized hail there across Calhoun Falls and Abbeville. And now we've got this new activity up here as a confirmed tornado is now crossing through Greenwood County. So we've got this brand new tornado warning that's going to continue for this large and dangerous tornado that's confirmed on the ground right here. It's a very dangerous situation. We're able to see with our products and our tools that we have here at WYFF4 that there's some damage. There's damage being caused by this tornado right now in Greenwood and Abbeville County, pushing off toward the east. This warning goes until 3:30. Heads up Blakedale, Coronacre, Cross Hill, Mountville. This is all heading towards you in those neck of the woods. And this is really the concern in these areas as it pushes on through the area right there, as we've got that notch right there as it pushes on through. Let's look at the debris again, kind of check in on that. Yeah, very clear signature there. We've got debris showing up here in the atmosphere. Basically, that strong wind is lofting up that debris into the upper parts of the atmosphere, and the Doppler radar here is indicating that that doesn't belong. That's not rain. That bright spot indicates it's not hail, but rather damage, unfortunately, caused by this confirmed tornado that's now in between Cokesbury and Greenwood. Coronacre moving on through the area right here. Cross Hill, our friends in Lake Greenwood, please get to your safe place, okay? This is heading towards you, an active confirmed tornado causing some damage back toward Elbert, Abbeville County. Now it's in Greenwood County and southern Lawrence County. I want to put you on alert from Cross Hill, Mountville. You're in the path of this as well. We've had some pictures come into us. We'll pop those up any chance we get here. We'll be able to show you what we've got going on here across Coronacre, 313, Waterloo at 323, Cross Hill at 330, and then White Plains Crossroad at 339. That's a confirmed tornado moving toward these towns right here. Please, folks, take this very serious. This has caused some damage back toward the west. Give me a bigger picture here. There's Lawrence, so southern Lawrence County near Lake Greenwood right there, and west toward uptown Greenwood. That's where that confirmed tornado is heading. A large and dangerous tornado with a history of producing some damage. Right in here between Abbeville and Calhoun Falls, we've got extremely large hail in excess of golf ball in size, and this active tornado warning continues here for Abbeville, as there's the potential here that this is going to produce a tornado as well. A brand new tornado warning goes until 3:30 for Abbeville down toward Clatworthy Crossroads, near Highway 28, near Watts, Highway 72. Potential tornado located right in here. This is some strong rotation in that area, and there's the hail core. Man, oh man, that is some large hail. Probably larger than golf ball size right there where that black mark is showing up. That is some very dangerous hail moving towards you folks in Abbeville County. I mean, very large hail. Extremely large hail maker right here along Highway 28 in Abbeville, heading toward 823 and Highway 28. This is pushing off toward the east right there. So still got some rotation in this as well along Highway 823 in this area. Very dangerous storm that could produce a tornado at any minute. Watching that very closely. lake right there. Dangerous situation in those areas of Blakedale, Dalewood, Cokesbury, Stony Point, and Coronacre. As we pull out just a bit, Lotta over toward Lake Greenwood right there. Yeah, these areas in the path of this confirmed tornado. And then you've got this cell down here toward the south, extremely large hail core. So these two are the most concerning areas. Those of you watching and tuning in right now in Greenville and Spartanburg and Anderson, concerned about possible tornadoes from you. School dismissal going on right now. I do not see concerns, not to say we can't get a severe storm in these areas, but right now the most concern is right there along a boundary that sits in the southern part of the upstate. That separates warmer and colder air. Cedric drawing that on right here, and you can see that's where that boundary is located, 70 south of there, with a rain-cooled atmosphere just north of there. So that's where we're watching it here for Abbeville, Greenwood counties, Lawrence County, plenty of fuel in Union County. That's where the fuel sits. No fuel for storms here across Greenville, so that's certainly some good news for our friends in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson. It's the southern half of the upstate here we've been telling you about since this morning that has the higher potential of seeing an active tornado there. The biggest concern sits across Greenwood County right now because that's where we've had a confirmed tornado in Abbeville and Elbert County with significant damage to some spots in those locations. And right there sits a very large hail core, ping pong to golf ball sized hail at times in Abbeville, and that large hail is just very damaging right there across parts of Abbeville, and that's heading right towards you in downtown. This is kind of a 1-2 punch for you as you had that other storm just go north of you, and look at that hail getting up toward 2 inches in size for Calhoun Falls, over 2 inches right there as it pushes off toward Abbeville. Very dangerous situation in those areas as we've been tracking this storm as it crossed over Elbert County. 2 separate cells with potential tornadoes and one with a history of producing significant damage, unfortunately, back toward Elbert County. No word of injuries right now. That's the good news. We're going to keep checking in with our emergency management officials there in Elbert County, but thankfully, despite a complete collapse of a business there, we're getting word from Bowman over toward Elberton that there are no injuries with that collapse of the building there. So Abbeville 303, Promised Land 322, Self Memorial Hospital, and then Greenwood by 335. That's where this cell and potential tornado is heading. Let's check in with our cell up toward the north here because that's a dangerous one as well as it's been moving on through parts of Greenwood County heading toward Coronacre. We've got the line that's pushing on through right here, and looking at the rotation, not as strong as it once was. It's not as tightly compact. That's certainly some good news. The rotation, no bright blues showing up, so there's at least a good news sign that that cell does appear to be weakening a bit. But look at the damage. This is some debris. It's a couple of scans behind it, but you see that cell looks like it's fluctuating, flares up, then it flares back down. But it looks like we've got some debris that's been lofted up into the sky back toward Blakedale. So what that tells me is that as it crossed over from Abbeville into Greenwood County, we very likely had a tornado on the ground, and some of that debris is still being lofted around in the sky near Blakedale. Unfortunately, that would be for some damage back toward the west, right in here between Abbeville and Greenwood County. So that cell is heading toward Coronacre, Pinehurst, Irving's Crossroad right there along the lake, right near the boat landing right there. All right, this is heading off toward the east right here near Stony Point. Coronacre at 311, Lake Shores at 315, and then Irvine's Landing at 322. So watching that closely, a lot of lightning associated with this. This is a dangerous storm that has had a history of producing a dangerous tornado. This storm right here still producing some very large hail. As we look at the velocity and the strong winds in this, that hail core toward the north, you've still got some very strong rotation associated with this, some strong winds. As we look at just the rotation out of this, still seeing some right in there. It's not as tight as it once was, so there's certainly some good news, as this is a strong hail maker for sure, with right now no clear indication of some debris showing up other than the possibility of this large hail all around Abbeville. From Charleston Crossroads up toward Watts, this hail is in excess of 2 inches in size. That's golf ball sized hail coming down in droves right now from Calhoun Falls eastbound along Highway 72. There's 2-inch sized hail, my word. That is some very large hail as it moved out of Elbert County, and that hail really took over as a significant hailstorm there across Abbeville, and that's where it sits right now, heading towards you folks in downtown Abbeville. All right, getting word here they're going to continue this tornado warning to our north right here. This one going until 3:45 for Greenwood County. possible tornado located 6 miles southeast of Abbeville. So it'll be right in this area, right in here, as it pushes off toward the east. Here's the brand new tornado warning that's going to get Promised Land. Parts of Bradley, Kirksey, Breezewood included in this. Right now I'm not seeing a clear indication of debris with this. It doesn't mean that there's not, but right in there, got a hail core, possibly some rotation right in there, and that's where we're possibly seeing that tornado moving on through. Strong rotation 6 miles southeast of Abbeville. I want to put you on alert there in Promised Land, right around Highway 10, moving off toward the east right there. Right in there is where that tornado is possibly located there, as it moves off toward the east at about 25 miles per hour. So that cell slowed down just a bit. Still hail in excess of about 2 inches. Wow, that is some very large hail for Abbeville, and now pushing into Greenwood County. So there's Abbeville, crosses over into Greenwood County. So Promised Land, Select, Self Memorial Hospital, and then Panola Village at about 3:27. So please get to your safe spots there in Abbeville County, Greenwood County, getting word that this tornado warning will continue for your neck of the woods. The good news here from Abbeville south and westbound, though the tornado concerns are over for you, you've got very large hail concerns. You're now not under a tornado warning for the first time in a while. For Calhoun Falls and Lounsville, you can come out of your safe place if you can safely do so. We'd like to hear from you. Send us a message on Facebook. Send an email to our news tip on WYFF4.com. We'd love to hear from you if you can safely tell us what's happened in your neck of the woods. We'd love to be able to get that word out to folks as to what's happening, and we will do so when we can safely do that and dispatch our crews toward Abbeville County, as we've had a confirmed tornado via our tools here on WYFF4 of seeing debris. Not only the strong winds, but seeing that confirmation that there's debris in the atmosphere, as we've seen considerable damage in parts of Elbert County, Abbeville County, and now the same cell in two separate cells pushing into Greenwood County. So the southern side heading toward Promised Land, Select, Greenwood, and then Epworth by about 3:40. So within the next 30 to 40 minutes, we'll see that cell continue to push on through these areas as it pushes toward parts of 96, pushing on over into downtown, right in there in uptown Greenwood. There's the hail core right there heading toward Promised Land. There's downtown Greenwood, uptown Greenwood, I should say. You've got that cell that's just north of you in Coronacre. Then you got this southern side, basically getting it in two fashions here. A southern cell right here in Abbeville pushing towards southern Greenwood County, and then the northern cell right there pushing into northern Greenwood County. So very large hail. I mean, this is some of the largest hail we get around these parts, folks. And Promised Land up toward Miller's Mill, 2-inch sized hail, golf ball sized hail, right here along the county line from Abbeville going into Greenwood. That's the first cell. Let's check back in.
National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Abbeville County in upstate South Carolina, southwestern Greenwood County in upstate South Carolina, until 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 6 miles southeast of Abbeville, moving east at 25 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and golf ball size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Greenwood around 3:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this dangerous thunderstorm include Promised Land. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Please report damaging winds, hail, or flooding to the National Weather Service Greenville-Spartanburg by calling toll-free 1-800-267-8101 or by posting on our Facebook page or tweet it using hashtag NWSGSP. Your message should describe the event and the specific location where it occurred. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following counties in South Carolina, Abbeville, and Greenwood.
still showing up across parts of Abbeville County, Promised Land, Greenwood, Highway 178 right there. You folks in Coronacre, you're kind of in between the two cells as we've seen this move on through the area. Look at the hail in Calhoun Falls. I mean, this has been some significant hail from Calhoun Falls over toward Abbeville. Very large hail pushing toward uptown Greenwood. And it's going to head right towards you there in between Kirksey and Bradley. That's really in between you and uptown Greenwood's where the worst of that's going to be located here shortly. So getting word here of the potential tornado located 6 miles southeast of Abbeville. This is where we've got that large hail near Promised Land, and the rotation on the southern side of that hail core right there near Promised Land is where that rotation still sits. There's Abbeville, there's Promised Land, and some degree of possibly some debris being lofted up into the atmosphere with this. Very strong winds, and right in there would be where we'd have the possible debris moving into Greenwood County. And this would be a separate cell. Don't want you to be fooled by, this is a separate one. This is the second one coming into Greenwood County, okay? We've already had another one move out of Abbeville County into Greenwood County, but this one is heading toward the southern part of Abbeville and Greenwood County, all right? So Promised Land over toward parts of Kirksey and Bradley. As we put a loop on it here, the large hail still happening right now near 96. There's Bradley over toward Cross Hill. So 2 active tornado warnings for this area here. And this is continuing to push on through the area right along a boundary. Let's put a storm track on it here as it moves toward Promised Land at 312. Matthews Heights at 327, Gaines Crossroad at 334, and then 96 at 343. Watching this very closely here as this all kind of evolves as we've had some damage back toward the west in Elbert County. Look at the boundary that sits right here. 60s on the northern side of this where we've been kind of rain cooled, and then you got 70s. That clash of the warm air, cold air providing the focus for these storms, and there is a tremendous amount of fuel right along that boundary, which is where these storms are kind of focusing in on and where they're riding along right here in the southern part of the upstate in Abbeville and Greenwood counties over toward Newberry County. So significant danger right here. We've had significant damage back toward Elbert County that crossed over into Abbeville County, which crossed over into Greenwood County, and a tornado watch active right now. That goes until 7 o'clock right now, but we'll probably see that trimmed off. I think this is the most vulnerable area for storms over the next couple of hours as you're right there on that boundary. So as we look ahead, these are the 2 threats that we have right now. An active tornado warning just extended for Newberry County as this line right here and the rotation associated with it just east of Coronacre is going to go over into the southern end of Lawrence County, and then that's going to cross over into Newberry County right along 26 and Highway 76 right there. So that's going to be something to watch for you folks along the I-26 corridor heading toward Newberry. So Cross Hill, White Plains Crossroad, Bush River, and Jalapa at about 356. So right in here. This area's got the strongest rotation near Coronacre, north of 96, south of Cross Hill. So that's my biggest concern right now as Perella and Cedric and I, we continue to watch this very closely as it's moving on through. So there's that cell right there, and then there's the one south of uptown Greenwood. Both of these continue to indicate to us some rotation. And this one is a bit more of a hailmaker in southern Greenwood County. Now it's right along the line. That rotation still sits south of Promised Land. And as we look at our debris signatures right in here, right there's where the rotation is. As you're throwing the debris, no clear signs. That's certainly some good news, but no clear signs of debris being lofted up into the atmosphere with this. And not to say that it can't fluctuate back up. And that's what these storms have been doing is they've been pulsing up and then pulsing back down with strength. And 2 areas that we still have some concern for some rotation right here near Troy and Bradley, and then heading into Greenwood County, just north of you folks in Kirksey and 96, right in there, right along uptown Greenwood. You're under a tornado warning. Please get to your safe space. You do not want to be traveling in this activity right now from Newberry County to Lawrence County on over toward parts of Greenwood and Abbeville County. This is where we're continuing to see the most dangerous weather right here as this line right here is pushing off toward the east. And that's going to be the danger until this line pushes out of Greenwood and Abbeville County. That's going to be the danger until this crosses on through. And for you folks that maybe have family that travel from Columbia back home from work, this is going to cross over the 26 corridor eventually. There's Lake Greenwood. There's Coronacre, there's Cross Hill. So right now we're on the line of Lawrence County into Greenwood County, right along the lake. There's where some of those coves are, a boat landing right there. And Lakefield Road, Witten Road, right in here is where that rotation still is very, very strong. Could be a tornado that touches down at any second across Cross Hill, White Plains Crossroads, and this is heading off toward the east. So Cross Hill at 317, Zion Hill Church 319, Mount Pleasant Church 325, and then White Plains Crossroad at 327. Please get to safety right now. This has been a very dangerous storm that has had a history of producing tornadic damage along its way from Elbert County into Abbeville County and now into Greenwood County, where an active tornado warning exists for parts of Newberry County, stretching into Lawrence and Greenwood County. One in northern Greenwood County, one in southern Greenwood County, and that does include you folks there in Abbeville and Bradley. Downtown Abbeville, you're out of the worst of it. This is really for Promised Land, right along the county line, heading into Greenwood. A lot of hail still associated with this as we're seeing that possibly move on through these areas. Two big hail cores. I mean, right there near Promised Land, right there near, this is moving on through parts of Greenwood, and this is still capable of producing a tornado near the county line right there of Lawrence. So getting new word in from National Weather Service that this storm up toward the north near Lawrence County, they're going to continue this tornado warning until 3:30 right here. So this still presents an imminent danger for a potential tornado, mainly now Lawrence County as it's moving over the lake. So putting in, looking at this, the rotation does look like it's strengthened up a bit, and the lake can have some influences on that. You got less friction, less trees right in there, and that can flare these storms back up. It doesn't take much. So Cross Hill, Zion Hill Church, White Plains Crossroad, and then Mudlick at about 3:33. Please get to your safe space right there in parts of Lawrence and Greenwood County as this is crossing over the lake right now for you folks in southern Lawrence County. A dangerous situation and, frankly, a very dangerous storm that has had a history of producing a tornado in Elbert County, Abbeville County, Greenwood County. So you want to stay safe in that. As still seeing some rotation in this cell as it moves on through the area right here with some strong rotation near 221 and Highway 39 right along the lake here. So please be careful in this area. Our Doppler radar indicating winds going toward our radar site at 50 miles per hour and away from our radar site at about 36 miles per hour. That is still some strong rotation, and though this storm is not as strong as it was, it can pulse back up in an instant. So looking at our debris signature here, looks like some degree of debris has been kind of lofted around and could still be lofted around from some damage back toward the west, as you still got some of that flying around up in that neck of the woods there, as the storm is very strong here, and those winds that are funneling up from here can kind of shoot some of that up that way. But you get the picture. We've got some hail. We've got 2 tornado warnings right here for Lawrence and Newberry County, and then a third one right here in parts of southern Greenwood County from that cell that's an extremely large hail maker. National Weather Service just confirming to us they will continue this warning right here until 3:45 in southern Greenwood County from basically uptown southbound toward Bradley and Kirksey. That is a strong line right there, and this is the concern right here, as this line is setting up shop, and basically we're getting some rotation to set up within this line. As this moves through the area, it'll be out rather quickly, which kind of sets us up for a better evening forecast. And thankfully we can kind of squash our severe threats at least for a little while here and moving on through. So the front end of this line moving to Enterprise at 3:15, Newberry by 3:38, Saluda by 3:50, and then Pleasant Lane by 4 o'clock. So my guess is by about 4 o'clock, the worst of this line is going to be pushing toward the Columbia metro area. And this is going to be the worst of it kind of moving on through. Not to say we can't get severe weather back toward the west. This is all part of a powerful storm system that's creating a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere. We do have risks for severe weather throughout the day tomorrow again as we watch this activity come together. Here's the threat today, a medium risk for severe weather here at home, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it right here at home. As we look closer to home, that risk is along the upstate southbound. And as we get through the day tomorrow, a high risk for severe weather for Middle Tennessee back toward Alabama, with another risk for medium risks for severe weather as we go throughout the day tomorrow in Greenville and Asheville. That would mean as we go throughout the day, even the mountains would have a threat, Asheville and Hendersonville. And then going into day 3, which gets us into Wednesday, that line's moving through in the early morning hours, so we could get some strong storms out of that. But as we go into late Wednesday, early Thursday, cooler, drier air settles in, setting us up for a nice Mother's Day weekend forecast. All right, so getting some report here from some of our storm spotters. Chris Sherbert, one of our trusted storm spotters with the weather guys there, he's reporting almost 2-inch sized hail that is coming down in Abbeville County. So very large hail in that area. So you see the little donut hole here across the upstate. That's where we've had significant rain kind of wedged up against the mountains for several hours here. That has helped put almost like a wet blanket on top of a fire and squash the severe threats across the northern parts of the upstate. But where that cold boundary of air sets up and the warmer, more unstable, humid air sets up, you've got fuel for severe weather and tornadoes, which is why we have 3 active tornadoes across the upstate right now, from Newberry County over toward Abbeville County, Greenwood County, and Lawrence County. That's where we've got the greatest threat right now, and that's where this line is pushing on through, and very quickly it'll be pushing into southern Greenwood County. So let's start with this cell right here. Want to get you informed of what's going on with this one. This tornado warning has been trimmed back, kind of a more compact area, which gives us a better idea of where it's looking at right now. And Promised Land, that's a very large hail core right there along Highway 10, pushing up toward uptown Greenwood. Matthew Heights, you're going to see some large hail. My word, that is some large hail near 225 near Promised Land. You've got some large hail, ping pong to golf ball sized hail near Salac and 225, Panola Village and Greenwood. Very large hail pushing off toward the east. Okay, this is really a large hail near Copper Road, Cooper Road, and then West Alexander Road heading into Chalmers Park Road. All right, watching that very closely there as it's moving toward Wade Heights and uptown Greenwood. All right, so very large hail associated with this. As we turn on our rotation product, letting us know where the rotation is in this cell, we've still got an active tornado warning for Greenwood southbound toward Matthew Heights. A little bit of rotation in that neck of the woods, not as strong as we have seen, and you've seen kind of that rotation fluctuate up and back down again. As we look at our debris signature, not seeing anything that kind of stands out at us right now, where at times we've seen that bright color show up, which indicates to us some damage from the ground being lofted up into the sky. All right, so that's been the concern here shortly as we watch both of these cells. So there's this tornado warning here across Greenwood County, which to us doesn't show an imminent threat of a strong rotation. But then we got this one here across parts of Lawrence County as it's moving on through, moving into parts of Cross Hill, Mount Hill, and Mountville toward Zion Church at about 318, Mount Pleasant Church at 324, Mudlick at 331, and then Little River Church at 335. To my friends watching in Ware Shoals, hang in there. We've got this storm that's moving through quickly, okay? We're going to see this move on through, and you'll be able to get about your day, but still seeing some rotation right here. This has been the strongest storm that we've seen on Live Super Doppler 4 HD all day. It's fluctuated up and down, still showing moderate instability, or I should say moderate rotation right now from Cross Hill over toward White Plains Crossroad right there. 46-mile-per-hour winds going toward our radar site north of there, and a 40-mile-per-hour winds going away from our radar site right there. So still some degree of rotation right in there. All right, so that's where we're looking at that moving on through, and this warning continues until 3:30 for this area. We turn on our debris signature right here, see what we're seeing across this area. Across Highway 36, nothing really imminent. Some of that storm moving up toward the north right there, as we still got some strong storms across the area with 3 active tornado warnings. And we'll show you where we're talking about right now as we continue to have these areas move on through along with that line that's going to give us this threat through about 4 o'clock or so. And then Greenwood, that's going to pass on over into Columbia, Saluda area. So that's going to be the concern right here, is this very large hail maker has had a history of producing some rotation, and that line is pushing off toward the east at about 30 miles per hour. So putting a track on it here, it'll be in Joanna at about 326. That's any minute now. Kirksey at 340. Newberry by about 350, and then Prosperity at 405. All right, so pushing quickly out of our area by about the 4 o'clock hour, and then we can kind of sound the all clear alarm for at least the near term. So Greenwood and Abbeville, that's where we're concerned about. Not so much Abbeville as much anymore. It's right along the county line right there. We've had a history of that damage in Abbeville and Elbert County. Now the strong storms, 2 separate cells. One south of uptown Greenwood. This has some very large hail from uptown south toward Promised Land, right along the 221 corridor. Very large hail. I mean, we're talking 2-inch in size that has moved through parts of Calhoun Falls, Abbeville County, and pushing into southern Greenwood County near 221 very quickly today. And that's been the concern moving forward here, is that this area would be where we'd see the worst of the hail moving on through parts of Greenwood and uptown, pushing over toward Lake Greenwood. So Matthew Heights and Greenwood right here, that hail core is still very pronounced and very strong. And we've seen some indication that there's been some rotation in it as well. And that's where we're looking at right now on Live Super Doppler 4 HD, that it's got some weak rotation in it, and I'm not seeing it as strong as was. And you look for the green and the red to meet, and right now that couplet or that tightness is just not there, which is certainly some good news. And we should see this warning expire in the near term if this continues, as long as this trend continues. Now these can fluctuate back up any minute, and that's been the concern, is they do pulse up and pulse back down. Let's check on that storm north of Greenwood that's moving through Lawrence County right now, right along the lake here with this tornado warning that does include Lawrence County and Greenwood County. Right along the lake right here, we've seen this line, and this has been the strongest storm that we've seen throughout the day, that did some damage in Elbert County and did some damage in Abbeville County. Now that sits along the Greenwood and Lawrence County line, right over the lake, or just east of the lake at this point. It's over Lawrence and Newberry County line at this point, I should say. There, it's a very, very tight area right here. There's where Greenwood goes into Lawrence County, and now where Lawrence goes into Newberry County. And there's Highway 56, where the strongest of the rotation sits right there. And thankfully not seeing any debris being lofted up in that section of the storm, which is certainly some good news after seeing some clear indications of debris, and hence the confirmation that there was possibly a tornado on the ground in Elberton and Abbeville and surrounding areas. So that's been the concern here in the near term. As we pull out a little bit, we'll show you kind of where we are, big picture here, because the threats are there, and they've been there for the southern part of the upstate. Early this morning, Perel Lewis was mapping out the new threats from the Storm Prediction Center that was escalated. We showed you that last night with Cedric. He was showing you the storm and the line that was coming through today, how it could pack a punch. There's a lot of ingredients in the atmosphere today when it comes to the wind energy and the amount of humidity that we have in the sky. The storm fuel just really kind of off the charts today with the kind of humidity, almost a summer-like pattern out there, with temperatures in the 70s to near 80 degrees, with those humidity levels just being really, really tough. And this cell in Greenwood County is one to watch here, as it's got some very strong winds with it and a pronounced hail core right there as this line pushes off toward the east right here. So you folks that haven't really seen much action in parts of Troy, Bradley, and Kirksey, you're about to get some heavy rain, some lightning, and this hail core is very pronounced here from uptown Greenwood to Matthew Heights, down 178 and pushing off toward the east. There's Highway 34, there's Highway 178. So watching this closely with all of our tools here, just looking simply at the temperatures, that kind of tells you where that boundary is. The rain cooled air north of there in the 60s, the 70s to near 80 degrees sits from Columbia right along this line that goes right through Greenwood County, Newberry County, just north of the I-20 corridor. And that's where the concern has been today, as that boundary has been the focus for these storms to kind of ride right along and giving us that rotation that's been pronounced from time to time today. And looking specifically at that rotation, there are still 2 areas, really even 3 in our area that we're concerned about, from parts of Newberry County into Lawrence County. We'll kind of start up top here with this action that's now crossing into Newberry County, and this right in here is being indicated that it's got some rotation still associated with it in Lawrence County, pushing off into Newberry County near White Plains Crossroad. That would be the concern as it pushes over the county line into Newberry. So Lawrence, you're almost there. You're almost out of the thick of it, and we can sound the all clear for you here in just a minute, as it's just north of Mudlick there in parts of Newberry County. Let's go back toward the south and west, check on that storm that's near Greenwood, Ware Shoals, parts of Cokesbury. You've had a rough couple of hours here with these storms that have moved on through the area. And now it looks like the National Weather Service is going to replace this tornado warning with a severe thunderstorm warning, which will go until 4:15. So this looks like less of a tornado threat, but more of a hail and a wind threat. And it looks like that is going to be considered for almost 2-inch sized hail. I mean, the hail is the big concern with this cell that's in southern Greenwood County, really from uptown Greenwood south down Highway 67, pushing toward 96. And that's where we're going to see this threat lie over the next couple of hours here, or I should say next hour or so. Greenwood, South Greenwood, and Matthew Heights, that hail is almost 2-inch in size. Some significant hail in those areas as it pushes very quickly along 225 and 178 and Highway 34. Cedric, slicing this in half, it's a tool that we have here at WYFF4. There's that clear hail core at about 10,000 feet. Looking on all sides of this storm, it climbs up to almost 30,000 feet. That's able to tap into some of that cooler air, and those hailstones get tossed around and collect more moisture on them and get larger. And when gravity does its thing and those hailstones can't hold on any longer, they fall to the ground, and that's when you can get the damage. But a pronounced hail core out of this storm right here sits at about 8,000 feet up to about 15,000 feet, and that shows you as that updraft goes up in the storm, those hailstorms grow so large that those updrafts can't hold them and they fall to the ground, and that's when you get some damage from that hail that we've heard has been as large as 1 3/4 inches, almost ping pong to golf ball sized hail in those areas. Thanks, Siri. Cokesbury down to Greenwood to Matthew Heights, that's where we've got that hail. And that's where the severe thunderstorm warning lies right now. Getting word here that the National Weather Service will allow this tornado warning for Greenwood and Lawrence County to expire. So there's certainly some great news there, and being replaced with severe thunderstorm warnings. So let's kind of give you a big picture look now that the tornado threat is coming to, at least a pause. I won't say an end because these could flare back up at any minute, but let's kind of give you a big picture look at our area and where we sit as we go into the 4 o'clock broadcast here in about 30 minutes. Our news crews are gathering as safely as we can the damage that we've had reported back toward Elbert County, Abbeville County. All clear right now in Asheville and Hendersonville. You're watching us in Gaffney and Spartanburg and Greenville with a close eye to our friends and our neighbors in Greenwood, Abbeville, and Elbert County that have had a rough afternoon. Anxiety high when it comes to school dismissal. Many of you watching right now at school, please just hang in there. I know it's been a rough couple of hours here for you. You've been wanting to pick up your loved ones. My wife and I had this conversation about picking up our kids today in Greenville. It can be a stressful situation when severe weather strikes during school pickup hours, but they're very safe at school, and these schools have these plans. And as we move forward this afternoon into the evening hours, the concerns will sit across the southern part of the upstate. But this is kind of the worst of it right now for this round of storms that move on through. Now, certainly we could get some storms and some rain into the overnight hours. We'll watch that very closely, but our immediate threat for severe weather does look like it's coming to an end as we'll see this tornado warning expire here for parts of Greenwood and Lawrence County, and being replaced with parts of a severe thunderstorm warning as this is turning into more of a hail and a wind threat for Troy and Kirksey and Bradley and up toward parts of Newberry County. That's where there still lies a little bit of rotation, so that active tornado warning is there for Newberry County. So 338 for Newberry, Kirksey at 340, Little Mountain just before 4 o'clock, and then Saluda, as we've been tracking it, moving out of our area by about 4 o'clock. So that's been the concern here as we move on forward. If we can, Cedric, if we can back up to Elbert County, maybe put a loop on some of this activity, and we'll kind of look at the worst of these storms as we've had a confirmation of a large tornado that moved through parts of Bowman and Elberton at about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then it tracked on into Abbeville County, where our technology here at WYFF4 picked up on debris in the atmosphere that confirmed what we were seeing on radar, that not only were the winds tight and strong, but we were getting debris lofted up into the atmosphere with this storm. And right in there, as we got toward the 2 o'clock hour, as that cell moved from Bowman into Elbert County, and then this cell right here, it was 2 of them. There's that southern side, and there's this one here that moved into that one. This is the one that produced the strong tornado here as it moved into northern Elbert County. That's where we had the damage reports in northern Elbert County, and that crossed into Abbeville County as we had more debris that was very, very clear in Abbeville, pushing on through these areas right in there. So 2 potential tornado touchdowns and possibly a couple of different touchdowns here. That's what we're going to be gathering over the next couple of hours here at WYFF4, is where did those tornadoes touch down and what kind of damage. We're going to be telling your stories, and folks, we just really are watching this closely for you. And I know that it's a scary situation over Greenwood County. I can tell you that the tornado threat is thankfully a little bit lower right now, but we do have have a significant wind threat here for parts of Greenwood County, and this hail just continues to be a concern across uptown Greenwood south toward Kirksey. As you got a very large hail core right here that now looks like it's 1.5 inches in diameter. And that's heading toward 96 and Highway 248. So right there, that's where that hail core is the largest right now and sits as it moves off toward the north and east at about 35 miles per hour. So Lebanon Church Road, Pembroke Road, and then Golf Course Road, heading toward the golf course right there. Very large hail in excess of 1 inch. That's ping pong to golf ball sized hail, folks, right along and south of Highway 34. That's where the strongest winds lie, and the strongest hail is sitting in that location. As we look at our wind speeds right now, still some degree of some strong winds associated with this, but this is turning into more of a hail threat for this area as this line is pushing through Kirksey and 96 and very quickly pushing toward the southern parts and eastern parts of Greenwood County as this moves on through the area. Lawrence County, Cross Hill, you still got some heavy rain and lightning I want you to be on guard for, but as far as the tornadic side of this, thankfully that part is coming to an end as well as we look at this strong wind across southern Greenwood County. We'll pull up toward the north here into Lawrence County, check on this storm up here toward the north. Still some gusty winds in Lawrence County, but the tornadic side or the possible tornado here and parts of Newberry County near Bush River. If your family travels from Greenville area, Spartanburg area toward Columbia, this cell is going to continue on its way. There's the I-26 corridor. All right, there's the Highway 76 corridor. This rotation still is amplified right there, hence the tornado warning for Newberry County, south and eastbound. Does not include Lawrence County at this moment, so that's certainly some good news right there as this cell is pushing over into Bush River and parts of Newberry. So Joanna, you're in the clear right now. Parts of Lawrence, you're in the clear, and this line kind of sits right on the Lawrence-Newberry County line and then stretches on into parts of Greenwood County, and this line right here is what means business. Very strong winds, very large hail, and the potential that this could give us an isolated tornado with that tornado watch in place for a couple more hours. So we're going to keep you posted here on WYFF4. Since there's no imminent threat for tornadoes, we're going to send you back to regular scheduled programming here in just a moment. We are going to continue to news gather, folks. Our newsroom working in overdrive right now to get this information to you as safely as we can. Now that the most tornadic and severe side of the storm is pushing toward the south, we're going to do our thing. We're going to news gather and let you know what's going on. If you can safely do so, if you can safely let us know what you've seen in your neck of the woods, send us a picture, send us a video to our website. You can find all that information at WYFF4.com or Facebook messages to us. We'll do it the simple way right there if you need to. All right, folks, we will keep you up to date. If anything, and I mean anything, looks tornadic again, we'll cut back into programming here at WYFF4. For Cedric and Perella, we'll send it back to regular scheduled programming.
We now join our regularly scheduled program already in progress.
Exotic.